Makakau?
Ai.
Keiki au ke ia o holo o koa. Mahalo nui. Mahalo nui. Mahalo nui no lake ia. Piha po mai kai. Me ke aloha. Mahalo nui. Mahalo nui
Very
no
much
lake
for this day.
ia. Piha po mai kai.
Full of love and blessings.
Keiki au ke ia. Keiki au ke ia no holo koa. Ole mai ana no makali'i. Keiki au ke ia. Keiki au ke ia.
And I am this
no
child
holo koa.
of the
Ele
universe.
mai ana no
And I come from
makali'i.
Makali'i.
Aloha huakai. Aloha huakai no hoku wa'a po mai kai I nā kupuna. Aloha huakai. Aloha huakai no hoku wa'a po mai kai
On the star
I
cradle,
nā kupuna.
loved and blessed by the ancestors.
Haina ia mai. Haina ia mai. Ana kapuana. Aloha po mai kai I nā kupuna. Haina ho. Haina
This
ia
is my
mai.
song,
Ana
my story
kapuana.
now told,
Aloha po mai kai
as I am
I nā
loved
kupuna.
blessed. by the ancestors.
E lava. Keiki au ke ia o holo o koa. Aloha po mai kai I nā kupuna.
And I am reminded that I am this child of the universe, and I am loved and blessed by the ancestors. Yay! That is the chant of not only the universe, but the chant of gratitude. And of course we are. We're very thankful for the universe and all this beauty that surrounds us. We're sitting right out in the middle of the forest in Nanavali, Puna, in the middle of the forest. And so we welcome you here today as we introduce Pono Ke Ala. Today is the day. Pono Ke Ala. But even before that is welcome to your greatness. Remember, that's the first thing you want to
Ai
do.
mai kai ia.
Welcome to your greatness. And let me ask you, what did you think when you were told, welcome to your greatness?
Well, really my first thought was, am I in the right place? Did I make the wrong turn? Because
yeah.
I guess in my experience past used to be that places I would go didn't always tell me that I was greatness. You know, didn't always welcome me to my greatness. It was like, oh, maybe something's wrong, and so we will help you, you know, to make that wrong right.
Aha.
Or the bad good.
So in our local style, that's like saying, "Oi, welcome to your greatness, no fall down."
Yeah. Yeah, so really
Yeah.
it was
Kind of a shock?
yeah, the first moment that I really was able to give myself permission to see myself in my greatness and perfect just as I am. For the first time, it really was. It changed my life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because someone was already saying, "Hey, Tita, you okay, girl?" Yeah, I know the feeling.
Yeah.
It's so pono. So excellent, yeah.
Yeah, and truly, you know, in those moments, in the first moments where you said, "Welcome to your greatness," you were inviting me and us to remember and reconnect to our true identity.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Seldom do we really give ourselves that acknowledgement, I think. Yeah?
Mm.
It doesn't even come on the table, wouldn't you say?
Mm.
Yeah, yeah. Like, I can truly ask you, prior to that class, did it ever come on the table?
No, not very often, if at all. And like you said, you know, maybe our caregivers or people that were very prominent in our life, they just didn't have it to give. They didn't know it to pass that forward.
Mm. Mm. Okay. So how long, just let me ask you, how long did it take you to malama with that, to nurture it, to feel that it was okay to admit to such persona, shall we say, identity?
Well, it took a little while, honestly, because I think that sometimes how we think and feel about ourselves, we do it for so often for so long that it becomes a habit. And so it was just about shifting my habitual thinking of myself. And, you know, for the first time being reconnected, or just, you know, was always in place. I was just remembering my true identity as greatness and the perfection that I am. It was about opening myself through acceptance to it, and then just kind of energizing that. Maybe perhaps how I talked about myself, how I thought about myself, those kind of things, to help really integrate that new habit of thinking and knowing about myself.
So were you taught this then as a child as well?
To connect to my greatness?
Yeah.
No, I mean there was times where, like, when you achieve things or something, and people would go, "Oh, good job, yay," you know. But you know, it was always about being better and better, you know, and outdoing yourself and others, rather than just, you know, really that no matter what, whether you're accomplishing anything or not, you are in perfection. I didn't really always hear that, I wouldn't say. And I'm sure there's a lot of people that can relate.
Identify with that.
Can relate to that, yeah.
Yeah. So would you recognize then that they're talking at levels that perhaps was not a part of your everyday life? I think some people call that spirituality. I don't know, I think. Yeah, spirituality. In fact, more and more I notice that people are speaking about spirituality, you know. And sometimes I wonder, well, what is spirituality? In your own format, what is spirituality?
Yeah, I think it would have to be that connection to yourself as spirit, you know, realizing that we're spirit first and foremost. We're spirit having a human experience.
Yeah, I've heard that before.
Yeah, and you say that all the time, is, you know, and we're just, you know, we're here because as spirit beings, this is a perfect platform. You know, the earth realm is the perfect platform to have certain involvements to evolve. And so through the experiences of this human experience, we expand and evolve spiritually on a spirit level.
Now I realize that we really have, say, a limited amount of time to actually go through some of the questions and the activities that has to do with what is spirituality. I mean, that's
Ooh.
whoa,
Yeah.
that's really vast. So all we can do is bring our sense of experiences to the table.
Right.
So you grew up as, what was the closest thing to spirituality for you, if you could call it that?
Well, I would have to say, experiences of love, because I did have a lot of experiences of being loved and showing love, and realistically for me that is part of my true identity, that love is who I am. Also, when I was younger, really kind of connecting into nature was very spiritual for me. I would call that my spirituality, because I would learn so much from nature, and I was nurtured in that with spending time with my grandma, who worked with medicinal plants and with nature quite a bit. So that was a connection to what I would call spirituality.
So there was principles and protocols, would you say? Yeah. So was that making you feel good about who you are as a person, as an entity, or?
It did.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So how did you know or not know of your greatness?
Well, I guess, having those spiritual experiences, especially out in nature, perhaps nature was giving me the opportunity, or communicating to me and reminding me of my perfection. As I saw perfection in all things, perfection in the perfect flower, and how organized it was, and how just brilliant nature is, the patterns, you can see the patterns of perfection everywhere, in everything. And it was actually giving me the opportunity to reflect me.
Okay.
Maybe when I was younger, I used to choose to listen more to society, or the religion that I grew up in, or maybe some of the criticism that you get at times from your parents or teachers or classmates, friends, that kind of stuff. Which, when you get enough of that, you have the opportunity to choose to believe that. But
And
nature,
as a child, I would imagine that you really don't. You don't think in terms of having the opportunity or having the choice of making such a choice.
yeah,
Yeah, you sort of go along with the pattern of society at
Yeah.
the time.
yeah,
Yeah. So the sense of spirituality, I suppose, is not as broadened, of course. Is not as broadened as, say, maybe perhaps who you are today.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Well, when I look at spirituality, I look at the sense of what was on my table as I was growing up. Growing up in the islands in Hawaii is, I will say, it's a very different arena, shall I say, of when I went to the mainland, for instance, and spent about 20 years there. And even though that was in my adulthood, I could see where a lot of the things that I grew up with, it was interesting from the standpoint of there weren't a whole lot of people believing in the same thing. You know, I mean, it's just like, whoa, you know. It was a bit different. Again, from the standpoint of in our culture, in our Hawaiian culture, there was a lot that had to do with the aloha spirit. You know, and in the aloha spirit, we were a people of a nation, of a population even, that pretty much welcomed people. You know, we thought of everyone as all in the same canoe. That was my grandpa's saying on everything, you know. He based everything from the standpoint of the canoe.
Yep.
Kalaiva'a.
Yeah.
Because Kalaiva'a, that canoe person, that's what he was about, you know. And so everything that we did had a lot to do with the nature of the ocean, or the nature of Pele, you know, the goddess, you know, of fire and lava, and it was real, you know. So you didn't need a television set to show you she's in your backyard.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. Just like she's just right here, right around the corner from us, you know, 3 miles away or less, you know. So these things are right real, you know. So we recognize, or I would say some of us recognize, not every Kanaka Maoli recognized our own sense of spirituality, in the sense that the ancestors, you know, a lot of the ancestors, the engagement with ancestors, you know, wasn't as strong as the influences from Western and European and others came through here with their own set of religious values, etc., you know. So there was a lot in the changes of things. However, the thing that I remember the most is the greatness that we accepted others for their sense of greatness, even when they didn't. It was the aloha thing to do, you know. It was the aloha thing to do, you know. And at the same time, we managed to keep that also, you know, even with the different influences that were coming by.
Yeah.
Society absolutely changed things a bit here in the islands.
Yeah.
Quite a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know. They came with their set of values and their set of leadership, you know, that in this short moment in time, I can put it down to like, they came with a society of faults and blames. I mean, that's, you know, just putting it right out here, you know. They came with a society or a leadership of faults and blames, where you felt, you know, and this was mostly to my friends who, you know, lived on the other side of that element of understanding, you know. And they would be expected to be achievers, etc., you know. Where for us, Kanaka Maoli, hey, you a good fisherman, right on. You know how to make one net, right on. You know how to feed your family, right on. You know, I mean, that was so pono for us, you know. Oh, you know, and you'd be encouraged, you know. Oh, Dad, look, I get one fish. Small, manini kind. But, hey, that's one fish.
Right,
you know what I mean?
right.
So that was like, all right, you know. Now, hui, tita, go find a bigger fish.
Use that for
use
catch bigger
bait.
fish.
Yeah. You know, and that was pono. I mean, they never said, throw that away, too small.
Yeah,
you know?
no.
No, they never said that.
Use that. Go get the bigger
go
one.
get the bigger one.
Yeah.
The bigger one is in there, go get them.
Yeah.
You know, Right on. You know what I mean? Yeah, so as a keiki, you know, getting the small fish was Pono, you know. The thing about it is they encourage you, they inspired you, you know. Even when they weren't too sure that they were doing that, they were doing that.
And
you know.
always told you how awesome you were and perfect.
Well, you know, in a roundabout way, yeah, by example. Usually it was by example, you know, and you felt good about it. They didn't have this thing about the fault and blame stuff so much, you know. I mean, because actually that came later anyway, you know. So it was really a good way to grow up and to be a part of, you know, a part of life and seeing where you're good enough, that you are good enough, you know. So yeah, so I just wanted to leave this portion with, you are good enough, you know, you're good enough, and we're going to explore that even a little bit further with the next videos and things that we put together and share with you, okay? In the meantime, we can bow out. And we can say, oh, blessings, blessings, plenty blessings, and lots of aloha. Malama pono, aloha.